Okay, we're starting off laying down just to relax for a little while. So close your eyes, settle into the floor. Should feel nice to lay down. So big breaths in and out through your nose here. And when we're all spread out like this, it's really easy to feel the big expansion of the belly and the chest as you inhale. And we want to feel a corresponding contraction and compression inward as you exhale. So we'll just take a few rounds of really big breath here. That's all. Just breathing. Feel free to cultivate a really loud breath, right? So almost like a roar in your ears. We want to bring in that warming breath, that ujjayi breath. And hopefully you're just laying here, closed eyes, breathing deeply. And that's going to allow you to feel a lot of releasing of tension in your body. So you should feel your hips and shoulders just relaxing here, just opening up to the ceiling. And you might notice your mind racing, doing its thing. And that's okay. Just notice the thoughts moving into the past. Notice them moving into the future. And just remind yourself, that's just the thoughts. That's not you. You're right here, breathing deeply and relaxing. And it's great to start off practice, I think, with just a sense of presence, just being still in the moment with what is, whatever is unfolding, just the way it is. Just gratitude for this practice and this peaceful moment. So let's take just a little time to begin to link the breath with the movement. Okay, should feel nice. So we're going to start by stretching arms and legs out really long. You're going to make yourself as long as you can get. Think of a big breath in here, expanding your chest and your belly as you reach out. And with your exhale, do the opposite. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Bring your hands towards your knees or your shins. And you could even, if you wanted, curl your chin and your forehead up towards your knees. So making a tiny shape with your body. Let's do that a few more times with breath. So inhaling to get as long as you like. Exhaling, tiny little ball, curl it up. You could keep your head down for this, okay, if that's better for your neck. Or you could pick it up. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, compress. 2 more. Waken up your core. One more. Big breath in. One more big exhale. And let's hold the knees in a big squeezy hug here. So we could have head down to make this more gentle. We could have head up to make a little more core activation happen. Either way is awesome. But keep breathing. Squeeze those knees in towards your chest. Should feel really good in your low back as that lower back spine kind of neutralizes toward the ground. Maybe one more nice big breath in here. And one more big breath out. With your inhale, drop those feet back to the floor. You can just drop them by your hips and drop your hands to the floor by your hips as well. So we are perfectly set up to do some bridge pose. Okay, such a great pose to wake up the back of your body and just waking up your legs in general. So go ahead and look straight up at the ceiling. Okay, we want to make sure that the cervical spine, your neck spine, stays gently neutral, okay, gently lifting off the floor. We don't want the back of the neck to touch down. So keep that chin away from your chest. And imagine you're putting a yoga block or a softball between your knees. So put it there and squeeze that yoga block or softball with your knees so that it doesn't fall to the floor. Okay, so keep that nose up. And then with the next inhale that you take, you're just going to peel your tailbone up off the floor. Start to lift your spine up toward the ceiling. Nice snaky spine. Okay. And you want to think of your exhales rolling your spine down. So let's take a few more, just like that. Inhaling, lift your spine, roll it, snake it up. And exhale, lower your spine, snaking it down. So keep it going. Remember that yoga block between your knees, don't drop it. And remember to keep your nose pointing up. You should feel some nice articulation as your spine rolls up and down. All right, the next time you come up into that bridge pose, let's just hold it there and just breathe there for a little while. Hold and breathe. So you could stay just like this, just looking up, holding that softball between your knees. Some people like to do robot arms here, bending the elbows, pushing down into your shoulder blades so you can lift your heart up away from the floor. Another option is to join your hands behind your back, under your hips. And again, push those arms into the floor. Lift your heart up. Just breathing into that front body space here, breathing into your hip flexors. Remember to point your tailbone at your knees. Okay, so really neutral spine. Maybe one more big breath here in your bridge pose. And let's roll it down. You can release your hands if you join them. And let's snake that spine all the way down. Take your time. All right, once your hips land, shimmy your feet a little wider from each other. So shimmy them away from each other. We can even make some cactus arms here with your upper body. Okay, kind of spreading open your chest. And we'll start to windshield wiper, drop the knees side to side. Drop them to one side, drop them the other way. Okay, waking up that lower body a little bit more, waking up the hips and the low back here. Should feel nice to start moving. Okay, next time those knees point up, go ahead and pause in there and pick your feet up off the floor. Bring the knees closer to you so you can tuck your hands behind your knees, okay? Hold on tight. We're just gonna playfully rock, okay? Playfully rock all the way up to a seat. And then playfully roll all the way down. So you're gonna use your spine, kind of like a rocking chair. Take it a few more times, up and down. Okay, finding a little bit of a kind of a massage kind of feeling in your back here, hopefully. Should feel nice. Okay, next time you come up, let's just pause there. Come on up and pause in your seated shape, okay? With your hands still gripped behind your thighs. Make your longest spine. really long. And think of pulling that belly button back in with your belly muscles strong. That's going to keep your low back really safe and neutral. Okay. So from there, start to curl your tailbone as if you wanted to point it at your toes. You're just going to lean back just enough that you feel your abs. Okay. Start to kick in. So it doesn't have to be a lot. Just lean back, feel those abs kick in, hold and breathe in your boat pose. So see if you want to try reaching forward with one hand, drop that shoulder down the back. Maybe the other hand, two shoulders, just dropping down the back. Just feeling that ab engagement, building heat. Okay, it's possible you keep your feet down, or maybe you experiment with picking one toe up, pointing it forward. Maybe the other toe. Okay, no matter where you are with feet down or feet up, hands down or up, keep breathing. Boat pose, Navasana. The long spine, the strong belly muscles, it's the same no matter where you are. Building that core warmth. Maybe one more big breath in here. And let's let it go. Drop those feet. If they were up, grab those thighs. If your hands were up, and pull yourself all the way up to a more neutral seat. Okay. And from here, just push your knees over to the right. So drop those knees to the right. Okay. I'm going to spin around to face you, but we are in the same position. So the knees are pointing to the right, and you can lean over in that direction if you like. Okay. We're going to take this left knee and just pull it over to point over to the left a little bit so that your right foot is close to your left knee. So that when you look down, you see a little kind of a triangle shape that your legs make. And I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like this on the floor. Okay. So get comfortable. And we'll start to open up the sides of your body. Okay, it's going to feel really good. So ground into that right hand. Pick up your hips here by pushing down into your knees. So push down into your knees, hips up. Take a big breath in. Reach that left hand overhead all the way out to the right. Remember to keep a long neck though. Okay, don't let your neck disappear. Come down to the floor. Switching sides, this time the hips stay down. So left fingers down, inhale, right arm up and over, big right side stretch. And exhale, bring it down. Again, on the left, inhale up, hips up. Exhale down. On the right, inhale up, hips down. And exhale down. Okay, so take a few more breaths like this. Just find a rhythm. You can maybe close your eyes. Should feel really good in your sides and your back. Or maybe just a couple more on each side. All right, next time you come down, your hands are down, just pause for a moment. Let's extend that left leg all the way out to the left. Okay, push the floor down away from you and come on up to a supported side plank. So I like my side plank to be really supported. When I support it, take that right knee, pick it up and put it under your right hip, okay? You can spin the toes to point behind you if you like. I just find that's a lot more supportive and I feel more comfortable. So make sure that that right side is good architecture, right hand under right shoulder, right knee under right hip, and that left foot on the far away side of your mat is pushing down actively, okay? It's not asleep. So let's activate and open up this left shoulder here. So we're gonna start to circle out that left shoulder. Just making a big spacious movement with it. Remember to keep it active. Okay, so I like to spread the fingers wide. Think of plugging the arm into the socket, even though you're moving it. Go ahead and rewind that circle with your shoulder. Maybe push through the palm this time, so you're flexing the hand a different way. Okay, next time that hand reaches up, pause there, okay? Get really strong in your core. So think of pulling those belly muscles in towards your spine. So we want strength. Now use that core strength. Come up on your right fingertips. Come on up. Okay, still using your core strength. Pull yourself slowly all the way up right so that your hips are, so that your ribs are over your hips. And then let's pause there. Okay, we just need to rearrange one thing, and that's the left foot. So take a look at the left foot. Externally rotate that hip by spinning on the left heel to point the toes away from you. So that's going to kind of oblige you to put a little bend in your knee, which is fine, okay? You can bend it a lot if you want. You can bend it a little. Just try not to lock it. So let's keep reaching. Core strength, belly muscles are still active, reaching further to the left now with your left hand. Hold and breathe as you reach. Keep pushing down into this right leg, strong in the right leg, pushing down through the left foot as well. Legs are on the clock. Find somewhere to grab your left leg with your left hand. Really anywhere except the knee. Try not to grab the knee. Grab on tight, strong belly muscles, push through your legs. Let's start to reach that right hand up, maybe over to the left. Hold and breathe. Big side stretch. Okay, on that right side, should feel really good. Keep pushing down through your legs, lengthening that spine. Maybe you look up, maybe you look down, maybe somewhere in between. But keep breathing. Maybe your eyes are closed. You're just kind of feeling where you are. Okay, maybe we'll take one more really big breath here. Really enjoying that stretch all across the right side. Let's come out slowly. So we'll come out reaching with the right hand. Call in that core strength, that belly strength to pull yourself all the way up to standing. Belly strength. Use that same belly strength to lower yourself carefully back to the fingertips of the right hand on the floor, under your shoulder, down to that palm. And from here, just have a seat. Come on down. You can windshield wiper your legs out a little bit if you lean back on your hands. And we'll just do the other side, just like that. So this time, when your knees drop over to the left, pause there. Okay, I will again spin around to face you, but we are in the same position. So make that little mermaid shape, that little triangle shape on the floor by putting your right knee next to your left foot. The right toes point sort of back behind you, okay? Looks like this, little triangle on the ground. Okay, same thing. So drop into the left hand, pick up your hips, big breath in, right side stretch. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, left side stretch. Hips stay down for this. Feels good in the back and the ribs. Let's do a few more rounds, just like that. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, switch. Exhale down. Maybe close your eyes. I like to do this one with eyes closed. So with this little sequence, we're just opening the sides of the body up so we can breathe more deeply and just feel freer. It's always good to have a little extra freedom in your spine and your back. During the week, we tend to get kind of locked up all around the torso as we work and sit and do things. Okay, next time your hands come down, pause. Okay, we'll transition to that supported side plank. So if you lean over on that left hand, extend the right leg all the way out. Remember to ground the outer edge of that right foot on the floor, okay? And then come on up to your supported side plank. But if we're gonna be here for a while, make sure to really support yourself, okay? Don't sell yourself short. Take that left knee, put it under your left hip. You're gonna have to move it a little bit and spin those left toes to point back behind you. So you have a little bit of internal rotation in that left hip. Okay, take your time. That left side is very supportive, like a bridge, okay? And we're gonna start to circle out the right shoulder. So activate the right arm, spread the fingers, circle it out. Okay, really big movements here, trying to keep that spine nice and long. Let's rewind it. This time, maybe push through the palm, have a little different activity in the arm. Okay, you should feel that shoulder warming up. I definitely do. Okay, go ahead and reach up and hold, right? Activate those strong belly muscles. Pull everything in toward the spine. So all that tissue is active. Then we have the support we need to come up on the left fingertips with support from the core. Now use that core strength to pull yourself all the way upright, ribs over hips. And pause. We just need to rearrange the right leg. So take a look, spin on that right heel, slight bend in the knee, point the toes to the right. Now we can bend a lot or a little. I just want you to avoid locking it. Let's keep going. Right fingers reach to the right. Hold and breathe and reach and hold and breathe. Avoiding pushing on the knee. Grab the leg somewhere. That left hand, once you start settling in, push down into your legs. Maybe reach that left hand overhead to the right. Breathe. So this is one of those postures, especially because we're in your back right now and we're in your hips. You're going to notice, hey, one side is really different from the other. And that's fantastic. If you notice that, then you are making the most of your yoga practice to get to know your body and communicate with it. So you don't have to judge or fix those differences, just notice them and breathe. Long spine pressing down into the legs. Maybe one more big breath here. In Parigasana, gate pose. Okay, as you're ready, we're coming out slowly using that core strength. Pull yourself all the way upright. Continue to use that core strength, okay? And lower yourself. Left fingertips down to the floor, under the left shoulder. You can drop that hand once you land. Drop your hips. Again, lean back on your hands here. Let's take a few windshield wipers to shake it out. Okay, we warmed up the back of the body. We warmed up the sides. We did a little core activation. Nice work. Okay, next time those knees point to any side, just roll all the way over to hands and knees. And that's where we'll meet. Hands under shoulders, nice and strong with your grip. So grab that mat like you mean it. And with a little slight bend in your elbows, pull those elbows inward toward each other. When you do that, you're going to feel your chest and your back turn on in a more effective way. So go ahead and make the most of your strength. Elbows pulling inward. We have the belly lifting toward the spine. Okay. And we're going to get the right leg out and bend that right knee. Point that right toe at the back of your head. Okay. So pull back on your hands. Remember to pull those elbows in toward each other. Take a big breath in as you try to send that right toe toward the back of your head. It's not going to touch unless you're a circus performer, but move it in that direction anyway. With your exhale, bring that knee underneath you. See if you can bring it towards your nose. Maybe even give it a little smooch. Let's do it again. Inhale, right toe toward the back of your head. Pull back on your hands, arched, extended spine. And exhale, a rounded, flexed spine as you pull that knee underneath. Again, inhale, extend your spine, pull back on your hands. Exhale, round your spine. One more, inhale, extend. Last one, exhale, round. Now pause here, rounding your spine, hugging that knee underneath you. See if you could skillfully step that right foot forward and drop it outside your right hand, okay? Once you get there, you get that right foot grounded. Maybe you want to move the left knee back a little bit or put a little pad underneath that left knee. Do what you need to do. But let's rock the hips back and forth a few times. You can come up on your fingertips maybe so you have a nice long spine. But we want to start to kind of open up the hips, getting into the legs a little bit. Just kind of gently exploring. Okay, come forward into that lunge, okay? And then you can use your hands on your right knee to press yourself up. So all the way up to a lunge. So everyone's lunge is going to be different. Keep in mind, if you need less here, you're going to take that back knee so it's more forward. So you can put the back knee under your hip and the front knee over the ankle. That would be our most gentle lunge. Okay, more intense lunge, you're going to move the front foot further out and let the hips drop lower. So you decide what's best for you. Okay, find that lunge. And you could get your arms up in the air. We're going to start to activate the hands or the, what are these? Feet. We're going to start to activate the feet against the floor. So strong belly muscles, pushing those feet down in the floor, holding your low lunge, Anjaneyasana, maybe looking up at your hands or wherever else feels right. Just breathing here. Big breaths in, big exhales, active legs, active belly muscles, actively lifting your heart as you breathe. Okay, very nice. Just feeling some warmth in the hips. Maybe one more really big breath here. Push that floor with your legs. And let's come down the same way we came in. Go ahead and drop your hands under your shoulders. Pull those hips back. All right. So feel free to, again, arrange your legs to be in the most comfortable position. But if you come back up on your fingertips here, walk your fingers so they're under your shoulders. And then do your best to make your spine extremely long. If it doesn't lengthen out the way that you would like it to, try just putting a bend in your right knee. That should allow you to lengthen your spine a little bit more. So hold here. Once you find your spot, we're going to start kicking down through that right heel. So use the right heel, flex that ankle, and kick down into the floor as you pull back on that right hip. Okay, keep breathing into that right hamstring. The more you kick down, the more you flex the foot, and the more you pull back in the hip, the deeper the stretch will be. So feel free to dive in or back out. Okay, breathe. You can even rock around, kind of pointing your toes from right to left, like a windshield wiper movement with your right foot. You get more into the IT band when you're on the side of the foot, and more into the inner thigh when you're on the arch. All right, half split, Arda Hanumanasana, great opening for that whole right glute, hamstring, okay, and calf. Let's come out here, dropping back into that lunge. So putting a bend back in the right knee, dropping the hips. Go ahead and get your hands back underneath your shoulders. And we'll swing it back to hands and knees from here. All right, I'll get you up off your hands and knees for a moment. So tuck your toes, lift your hips, and walk your hands back to your feet. We're just gonna hang for a little while. Okay, really floppy, really hangy, really bendy in the knees, kind of sway. All right, hopefully you notice that the right leg might be a little more fluid than the left, but we'll go ahead and address that pretty soon here, even things out. As you're ready, palms back to the floor, walking it forward to another hands and knees. Just like we did the other side. So everything the same this time on the left side. First, activate that upper body strength. Push down into the floor, spread those fingers wide with a soft bend in your elbows. Squeeze the elbows toward each other. You'll feel your chest turn on, your back strength turn on. Lift those strong belly muscles, and we're ready to go. Let's get the left leg out behind with a bent knee. With your inhale, pull back on your hands. Move that left toe toward the back of your head as you arch your spine. And exhale, round your spine. Pull that knee to your nose. Maybe give it a smooch. Again, inhale, arch. Exhale, flex. Again, inhale, arch. Exhale, flex. One more. Inhale, just like it's a cow pose. Exhale, just like it's a cat pose, and hold here. See if you could gracefully step that left foot forward outside your left hand. And begin to settle into your lunge. Okay, so do whatever you like with the right knee. You can move it back, you can move it forward, up on your fingertips maybe. We're gonna start to move the hips back and forth. Kind of easy, kind of free form, just waking up your legs. So remember to keep your legs active. So actively pushing down through the front and the back leg. All right. Next time you come forward into that lunge, let's settle in and just enjoy it for a bit. So remember, active legs first. Now press yourself up to that lunge. Okay, if you need the lunge to be more shallow, more kind of gentle and easy, you bring that back knee forward underneath the hip. That would be the right knee under the right hip. That's our most gentle lunge. We start to move that right knee back. It's more of a deep lunge. So you decide. We're just going to be in this lunge for a few moments, activating those legs down against the floor. Think of pulling back on the front foot, pushing down with the back knee and arms up in the air. Hold and breathe in your low lunge. Okay, want to feel the back of the left leg starting to wake up, the front of the right. Belly muscles always active, of course, and lifting that chest. Okay, when we hold these postures, we're just giving our bodies a chance to really let the magic, the yoga magic sink in. We let that heat build. We build endurance, fluidity, presence. Maybe one more breath, being present in your low lunge. Come down smoothly, okay? All the hands down under your shoulders. Okay, you can frame the front leg or you can have hands inside the front leg. It's really up to you. But go ahead and pull those hips back into your half split. So the best thing for your upper body here is to walk your fingers back so they're under your shoulders. You're probably gonna have to walk them back a little bit. Get that spine nice and long. Okay, do your best. If the spine doesn't lengthen out, bend that left knee, try it again. We want that long spine. No matter where you are, kick down through that left heel and start to pull back in the left hip. Hold and breathe. Just inviting extra space, extra warmth into the back of the left leg. Lengthen the spine. You can start to play here. Windshield wipering that left foot from side to side. This is another one where you'll notice, wow, the two sides are totally different. So just keep gathering that information. Don't feel like you have to fix it or change it right now. Just gather. Maybe a few more breaths here in your half split, working out the kinks in your left glute maybe, or left IT band, inner thigh, who knows where it's gonna be. Okay, as you're ready, we're gonna come back through that lunge. So we're bending the left knee again, back forward to your lunge. And let's bring it back through hands and knees. Again, I'll get you off your hands and knees here. So tuck your toes, lift your hips and knees, and walk your hands back to your feet and hang. Nice little hanging and swinging movement. And shake the head out. Experiment with putting your weight in your toes and in your heels, kind of rocking the weight forward and back. And not just side to side. Okay, from here, hands back to the floor. We're gonna walk it forward to hands and knees again. So I'll meet you there. Back on hands and knees. All right, so here's a nice little leg stretch for us to play with. We're going to swing this right leg forward. So swing that right leg forward, and then you're just gonna extend it, and then walk your hands back. You're gonna sit down inside your right foot. So I'm gonna turn to face you, but we're in the same position. Sorry, inside your left leg. So the right leg is out long, and you're sitting down on the inside of your left leg. So we're trying to keep the knees close. If this is uncomfortable, you have options. One option is you can sit on your left foot if that works better. Another option is slide a block or a blanket or a pillow or your sweater under your hips and just sit on that so your hips don't come all the way down. You can also bend the right leg. So keep your options open, but find some way to kind of get in here. And then think of squeezing your knees toward each other. So even if they don't touch, you want them activating toward each other. Hold and breathe. You can lean back if you want. What we're looking for is a really yummy stretch across the whole front of your left leg. So keep it active. You already know that we want to stretch actively and not passively. That's our best way to stretch. So keep it active, pulling those knees toward each other and breathe. You can stay up on your hands. You can sit upright if that's best, okay? I'm just gonna play with how this feels. Okay, maybe one more big breath here in your half hero pose, okay? As you're ready, here's what we're gonna do. Try this out. Sit upright if you were leaning back, okay? We're gonna swing this right leg over to the right. See if you can come up on that left knee here and have that right leg out to the right. So I'm facing you, we're in the same position though. So you see what we're doing. We have that right leg long out there now, and you can actually walk it away from you as far as you like until you feel a yummy stretch across the inside of your right leg. Your hips are lined up between your two knees. They're not forward or back, okay? And then get that right foot out there, and you can start to kind of waggle, kind of find the boundaries, kind of waggling the hips a little bit forward, waggling them a little bit back. You can point the right toes up if you want to. You can point them out, but find some good stretchy time on that inner right thigh. Okay, I like to play around with pointing the toes up sometimes, and then pointing the toes forward so that the arch is on the floor. I like to play with both. Getting a real nice stretch. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of keep this idea going, okay? So stay with me, it's kind of funky. So now come on upright, okay? And you can walk that right foot in closer to you a little bit. So come on, kind of back up where we started, okay? In this kind of funky shape. But we're gonna take the right leg all the way behind now. So swing that right leg behind you. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around so that you can see where I'm going. But we're in the same place. The right leg is behind you now. You're just gonna come down into a half hero on the left side. So that right leg is just gonna slide down to the ground. So it's kind of like a pigeon pose, but we don't have the left leg curled underneath us. So hold and breathe right here. Okay, I'll turn to the side so you can see that my left leg is still kind of bent on the outside. Again, you can sit on a block here. You can keep your hips up if that's best. Hold and breathe. You can do fingertips on the floor to make your spine nice and long. But go ahead, once you settle in, start to activate your legs, pushing down actively into the floor. Breathing deeply into those hips. Okay, should feel nice in that right hip. Remember to protect your low back here by pulling those belly muscles in. One more breath here. And let's come out slowly. So ground those hands in front. We're gonna swing that right leg forward. I'm just gonna pull my right knee up and forward, and you can find yourself back in hands and knees kind of magically here. Let's get off the hands and knees again. Tuck your toes, hips up, walk your hands back to your feet, and just hang and swing. Okay, maybe here, now that we're a bit warm, okay, you can grab the backs of your calves. You just want to grab one calf in each of your hands, and then bend those knees so gently, hug your heart towards your thighs. You can drop your head. Breathe into the back of your body with a long neck. Okay, enjoying that little peaceful forward fold before we go to the other side. So we're going to do that whole funky sequence on the left side now. So get ready. Get your block or your towel ready if you need it. Palms coming back to the floor. Walk it forward to hands and knees. Alrighty, are you ready? So we're now going to swing this left leg out to the left and around front so that you can sit back on the inside of that right foot. Okay, so the left leg can be bent or not. It's really up to you. That right leg, you're sitting down with the lower leg on the outside of your hips. So remember, you can sit on something so the hips don't have to come all the way down. So modify that if you need to, and we'll just be here. Start to squeeze those knees toward each other, activating the legs downward. Right quad stretch, should feel good. You can lean back if you want a little more, pointing your tailbone at your knees. Okay, half hero pose. If it feels really nice, you also have the option to come all the way down to your elbows, okay? Still pointing that tailbone at your knees. But I find no matter where you are, as long as you're really activating those knees toward each other and down, you're gonna get that really good stretch across your quads, your right front of your thigh. So from this half hero, I'd like to transition into that left inner thigh stretch. So come back up to an upright seat if you leaned back, okay? And you can even lean over to the left. We're gonna start to swing this left leg out to the side, okay? Coming up so that you're on your hands and that left knee, sorry, the right knee, and the left leg is out to the left. So I'll turn here we are. So remember, we want the hips and knees relatively in line, okay? And we'll just start to shimmy that left foot out to the left. You take it as far as you want to take it. And start to just playfully, gently open up the inside of that left thigh, rocking forward and back. Experimenting with turning on that left heel, maybe. You can point the toes up. You can point the toes forward. So you can make this feel just right. Should never hurt. It should never be stressful. It should always be pleasant and fun. All right, really getting into that left hip today. So next time you come through center, okay? Come on up through center. Maybe you walk that left foot back up and in a little bit just to make life easier for yourself. Now swing that left leg all the way back behind you so it's pointing out away from you. Okay, I'll turn so we're all in the same place here. And just start to sit your hips down inside that right foot so the left leg is out long behind you. It's almost like a pigeon pose. So your hips do not have to touch the floor. They can be way up off the floor if you like. Try to make them level with each other though. The right hip and left hip are the same distance from the floor. And once you get kind of comfortable, I want you to activate those legs, of course. So start to press both feet down against the floor, press the knees as if they're moving inward toward each other, and protect your low back with your belly muscles, and hold and breathe. You can have the hands more forward, so you're leaning more forward, and you can have the hands more back, more of a back bend, so you can kind of feel it out. Breathing. Active legs here. Should feel really nice in your low back, maybe all around your hips. Who knows where you'll feel it? Hopefully low back and hips are getting a nice treat right now. Right, maybe one more really big breath in here in your funky hero pose that we made up. Okay. And take your time coming up and out. So slide your hands forward, slide that back knee forward. Magically, we are back in hands and knees. Okay, one more time. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, and walk your hands back to your feet. Okay, for this one, the legs are really warm. Maybe we can kind of play and experiment a little bit. Try bending your knees a lot and then looping your thumb and your peace fingers, okay, or bunny fingers, looping them around each big toe. So right hand gets the right big toe, left hand gets the left big toe with those thumb and peace fingers. And then think of pointing your elbows out away from each other, bending your knees and hugging or tugging gently, never forcefully, tugging those toes toward the top of your head. And vice versa. Let the head hang. Big breath into that back body. Maybe taking your last breath here in this really yummy forward fold, letting tension melt out of the back of your body. And then palms back to the ground. Come on all the way down to hands and knees. Okay, back where we started, go ahead and touch your toes together, but take your knees really wide here. We'll take a nice wide knee, child's pose. So toes are still touching. Go ahead and sit your hips back, sit on your heels, settle those hips down into your little nest that you just made, and see if you can get your head to come all the way down. You hold and breathe here. And really grounding any remaining tension in your body is just going to melt out here. So let's just take one little twist to realign or recalibrate your spine before we end this practice. Very simple twist, okay? Just pick up your head to look at the floor. Slide your left arm under your right until you can't reach any further. And then we're going to drop that left shoulder, drop that left ear, and breathe. You can use the left fingers on the floor to make a little space for your head. And remember to push the floor gently with both hands. Maybe one more breath here and we'll just twist the other side. So take your time, no rush. Come on back through center as you're ready. Looking at the floor, reach that right arm under until the right shoulder comes all the way down. And you can lift that left elbow, press down with the left fingers, and start to push both arms into the floor. All right, maybe one more really big breath here. And bringing all hands back through center now. Come on through. Drop that head. And take some time just breathing and resting in your child's pose. This will be our resting posture today. Let all effort just drain out of your body here. And let your breath become natural and soft. Let the jaw hang open, the belly be soft as well. This is a wonderful time to practice just being present with what is, just being present and witnessing the moment unfolding without trying to fix, without trying to change, just witnessing. Finding gratitude for each sensation. Deep gratitude for each peaceful moment. If you notice your thoughts, that's okay. Just let the thoughts come and go. And of course, please keep resting like this for as long as you can. The longer, the better. This is where I'll leave you for our practice today. Thanks so much for practicing with me.